A lot of factors go into why the employment rate is so high. I see it in my community every day. I see it throughout Baltimore City every day. I see that a lot of people do not have the right job training. A lot of people do not have the requirements. A lot of people don't even have the right education to find jobs. A lot of people just can't get jobs because of their skin color, name, background, a lot of many factors. Do you think it's hard for minorities to find a job?
Oh, listen. Okay. Well, it's hard for minorities because of a lot of different socioeconomic factors. Generational poverty is a big thing that a lot of minorities face. So I think that's a huge problem that a lot of people don't realize when minorities go for certain positions and they wonder why they don't get like that job or that position or whatever.
Somebody who's not productive in a way, it's not something that just started out. It's something that's been in the street for a while, and I think it's with if you're, African American, Mexican, anybody considered minority in the United States, it's really hard because there's a label against you and your generation. It doesn't matter where you're from as long as you're not of their skin color. That's what I think.
I also think media has a part to play in it because various minorities, especially black people, are portrayed as thugs or less than productive members of society. So it's like an instinct for most people to try to survive. There's a fear of black people or anything that's not the same. So I think like that plays into what makes it difficult for minorities to get jobs.
I know that it's real hard on the brothers. You got the right shade of skin. Get the feeling like shit in the skin.
You faced in a work environment?
Adjusting to like professionalism in different environments, I guess, or just adjusting to what the realm of professionalism is. But I think that's mostly attributed to just me being young and not being in the workforce for that long. And yeah, I guess learning what decorum means in just a work environment.
Me personally, no. People love me.
How about you?
No, I actually have a lot of issue. I'm Nigerian American and I do have an accent if you can hear. But I used to work at a daycare and I worked with a lady who, to my knowledge, I felt like she was racial against me. And I had to leave that job. As much as I really liked it, I had to leave. And there was another situation. The most problems I've had it's actually with female female bosses who are not of my skin complexion. They have something against me for no reason. And I'm also facing the same issue where I work right now. So I feel like I'm an outcast where I'm not even sure you're supposed to, so.
One job I had as that manager, they had like basically favoritism when work there, and I didn't like that. But it was nothing I could do about it. So I had to just to work there, but it was uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's going to be more lessons.
Conversation, mostly, between the two races that, like the two main races that are against each other. Because, yes, there are other minorities that exist. There's Indians in the country, there's Pakistan. They're not really viewed as badly as black people. So there needs to be like dialogue between the two races, I feel. So like both can get to understand each other better. Yes, it's a very difficult task. It's a lot to ask of anyone, but the more they talk, I feel like the more they start to understand each other, the less problems there will be between.
Quite frankly, I don't know if it can be solved because
They could be solved.
I don't think. I mean, there's nothing impossible. That's my own saying, but I don't know because this is something that didn't start like last year. This is something that's been happening for generations over generations. It's something that's started back in like when slavery started. It's something that kids have learned to grow because when we're younger, we see everyone as the same. But when you're older, what you see around you affects your mentality and how you see other individuals. That's why I personally, it's gonna be hard. It's not impossible. But it's not any easier, especially with what's going on right now. It's hard.
See, I don't know. Because I don't have a big enough empire for enough people to change it. But if I did, I would try to change it myself. Fairs and stuff like that, like getting people to come together and maybe even protest about it. Because there's a lot of people that's unemployed that want to be and can't. And also, I think people that come home from jail that have bad records should still be able to get jobs if they're trying to come home and better themselves and not be looked at as a bad person.
I need to go here. They need to get out here. There's a lot of people out here got skill. This might need to give them a chance. If you're not trying to give a person a chance.
I see a lot of people unemployed in my community, in my family, in my neighborhood, and in my school. I'm unemployed myself. I see people on the streets unemployed, people struggling every day. And I just want to make a change. I want to start my own business, bring everybody in, get everybody right, get everybody on their feet so they don't gotta go through what I go through every day or whatever people go through every day. I want to make a change, a real change.